Hey guys, welcome back to Misty and Ike.
On this episode, we're going to talk about athletes that became actors.
Oh, that's a good one. Leave a comment and tell us who your favorite athlete is that became an actor. Let's get into it.
Okay. I'm Misty.
And I'm Ike.
For the next 15 minutes,
We're going to debate pop culture.
my background's in music.
My background's in film.
I know the topics beforehand.
And I don't.
We check the internet for the facts.
And ruin it with opinions.
From pop rocks in your lunchbox.
To Happy Meal toys and swatch clocks. Unique New York.
Unique New York.
Unique.
Unique. Unique.
Mork and Misty.
Mork and Misty.
We don't say good morning anymore.
It's because we were just riffing.
Well, it's mid-afternoon now.
It is, isn't it? 1:26 p.m.
Well, and when we put the episodes out, it's a little bit later.
Yeah.
Y'all been sleeping in.
Right?
So we're going to give it
I don't
to you
blame
later.
ya.
That's
I
right.
mean, I don't know what I'm going to have to do when I have to wake up to an alarm clock again, because I haven't done it for 10 months.
Yeah.
It's been nice. Like, my body's actually, like, reset itself and, like, does its thing on its own.
Yeah, I've been getting up at 5 and then going back to bed at 7.
Yeah, I wake up early and then I kind of take a little extra snoozer after, looking at the news for the day, and
Extra snooze after the news.
extra snooze after the news.
Now with extra snooze. Guys, if you haven't noticed, Nick's back on the road. So
Nick's out,
he's a traveling man.
he went home.
Yep. He'll be back.
He will.
But welcome back to the Misty and Ike program, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome all of our new friends.
Hi.
And let's get right into it.
All right.
What are we going to talk about today?
I want to talk about actors who started out as athletes.
Athletic actors.
Athletic actors.
Athlete actors.
Yeah, athlete actors. How's that not a word?
I was just going to say athletes, thinking I was blending both words. Actaletes would probably...
Actaletes.
Actaletes.
How's that not a word?
It is now.
Well, who jumps out at you first? Like, without even,
O.J. Simpson. I mean, he was...
Because he was in what was he in? Was he in...
He was in all kinds of stuff. He definitely did commercials.
Right.
I think he was in, like, Naked Gun.
That's what it was, Naked
Was
Gun.
it?
Yeah, that was his big, like...
Let's
ha-ha
IMDb the
appearance.
juice and see what happens here.
The juice.
O.J.
Is he back in prison or is he out again?
He is out.
I can't ever keep track.
Hello, Twitter world. He tweets every day.
Does he?
Yeah, he tweets videos.
Oh, I do not follow him.
Naked Gun 33 1/3 is his main title.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see here. He was in all of the Naked Guns, The Towering Inferno in 1974. His credits, he has a credit in a short film in 2004 called The Lemon Twist, and he plays the jealous boyfriend.
Wow.
That must be a miscredit.
Wow.
Because the rest of his credits stop in 1994 for a very good reason. His
Right.
last movie was Frogmen in 1994. He was John the Bullfrog Burke.
Okay. I don't remember any of those movies except for 33 1/3.
He was in a TV series from 86 to 91 called First and 10. He played T.D. Parker.
I remember that. It was an HBO show.
He was on In the Heat of the Night.
Ooh.
He was a guest star.
Yeah. Did you set the dinger?
Oh, I didn't set the dinger.
You gotta set the dinger.
We need to meow.
set the dinger-linger.
He was in Roots.
Wow. What role did he play in Roots?
Let's see here. Kadi Toure in part 1.
Interesting. I don't remember that at all.
Well, who do you got? Who's your favorite actolete?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, what did he start off playing?
Well, no, he started off as a bodybuilder.
Oh, right. See, I
And then he
keep forgetting
became
those.
Conan the Barbarian.
That's right.
And then he became the Governor.
That's right.
Like he's we've been able to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger like morph throughout like 3 or 4 different lifetimes, of what he's done.
And now all of his kids are.
Yeah.
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 Oh, check this out. Terry Crews.
He was also on my list.
Yeah.
So you might know Terry Crews from Friday After Next, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's my favorite on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love him. And he was a football player, like a pretty big college football player.
Yeah. It seems like football is the sport that lends you into acting the quickest.
Well, I have to wonder if that's because like there are some people that as they're playing football, they realize maybe how rough it is on them and try to transition into something different a little bit quicker.
Because your career is over super early. Like
right.
If you're in your mid-30s and you're still playing football, you are an old guy playing football.
Right. Because you can only get knocked in the head so many times before you got to go, okay, it's time to move along.
Who do you think the most famous athlete that became an actor was?
I think it's probably The Rock.
Okay. I'd probably agree with The Rock.
Yeah.
I'd say right up there what I was driving at was Caitlyn Jenner.
I did not even think about that on my list.
That's an athlete. But
You're right.
Does being in a reality
Olympian.
show count as being an actor?
Absolutely, because you know that shit's scripted. It's not real.
Totally.
So you're doing some kind of acting.
You remember Bob Uecker?
I do. What was he on?
He was the baseball announcer in all the baseball, Major League and in like any baseball movie in the 80s and 90s.
Right. All the Kevin Costner baseball movies because there are like 70 of them.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
What about Carl Weathers?
Remind me of exactly who Carl Weathers was.
He had the wooden hand in Waterboy. Or no, Happy Gilmore. He had his hand bitten off.
Okay, yeah.
And he's in The Mandalorian, which you're not currently watching.
Yeah.
He directed an episode of season 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And he was a football player before that?
Yeah, football player.
Did you know that Burt Reynolds was a massive college football player?
You know, I have to think so because they did that prison football movie.
Oh yeah.
And they remade it in
The Longest Yard?
The Longest Yard, but it originally came out in like the 70s or early 80s, and then they redid it with Adam Sandler.
That's right. I forgot all about that.
This one says Jason Lee was an athlete, but I don't remember what he played.
Well, does it tell you what he did?
I'm going to have to get on his Wikipedia. Former skateboard player. Skateboard player?
I'm not sure.
Hey, we're going to play skateboards later.
I don't know that that's what they're called.
Oh,
I think they're called skateboarders. That was awesome. Skateboard player. Yay.
That's too funny.
I feel like I had heard that before.
I didn't know that.
And
that's nuts.
I also have a funny Jason Lee story.
Okay.
So the way that you and I met is that I toured with one of your best friends. And on the tour that we actually met each other.
Yeah.
One of your best friends and I went out after a show in New York City. We went to a bar. Mm-hmm. And we were hanging out there at the bar, shooting the shit, having drinks. And across the bar from us, Jason Lee and Nikki Katz. I don't know if you know who Nikki Katz is. Another actor. They had just wrapped up recording something, and they were still in essentially hair and makeup.
Oh, right.
Like very 70s looking. And they were across the bar from us. And your friend kept making a joke because he was like, they're checking you out. And I was like, no, they're not. And he's like, no, they really are. Like, they keep looking over here. And I was like, no, they're not. And he still to this day laughs about it and tells me that I could have been married to either Nikki Katz or Jason Lee.
We'll never know.
Had I just walked across the bar and had the conversation. But yeah, as they got ready to leave and walk out of the bar that night, I believe it was while Jason Lee was still on My Name's Earl.
But they filmed that out here, right?
Right, but I think maybe he was doing like a SNL skit or something in character. Yeah. And they walked by and I was like, hey man, I love My Name is Earl. It's great. And he was like, oh, thank you so much. And he was super gracious.
Remind me to tell you an SNL after party story that I just heard recently.
I would love that because I've been to a few of those after parties.
Oh.
And they are the best.
I can't wait till we're co-hosting SNL.
There's so much
You know
fun.
how famous our podcast has to get for us to co-host SNL?
So famous.
Yeah.
It's like...
Sign up for our Patreon,
so
guys.
famous.
Help us get to SNL.
That would be a peak. Like, we could both just quit after that. I'd be like, I'm done. Like, does life get better than this?
It does, because then all the Indian casinos pay you $150,000 a night to go do an hour.
Yeah, I guess.
So...
But, like, is that really equal to Lorne Michaels and company? Like...
2,000 or 3,000 old casino patrons showering you with praise.
I mean, think about the history, though.
Yeah, it's definitely a goal. I want to get on it before they shut it down.
It's one of my favorite things, and you and I were talking before this about how we love the podcast Smartless, and they had Martin Short on this week, and I loved hearing his stories about Lorne Michaels.
Martin
and
Short.
How that Lorne Michaels wrote The Three Amigos.
Yeah.
What?
I worked with Martin Short one time. I've told this story. I don't know if it's on this show or another show, but I was able to make Martin Short and John Mulaney laugh at the same time, and that's when I decided to become a comic.
That's enough right there.
That's it. If I can make those two guys laugh, it's over.
That's very true. All right, so back to the thing.
Yeah. What about Lou Ferrigno?
Oh, the Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk.
Was he a bodybuilder or a football player?
Good question.
I would have thought bodybuilder.
Maybe he was a skateboard player.
I hope he was a skateboard player.
He was a fitness trainer, fitness consultant, and retired professional bodybuilder.
All right. What about Jason Statham?
Ooh, what is he into, kung fu or something?
Jason Statham was a professional competitive swimmer.
Was he really now?
He competed in the Commonwealth Games for England.
Huh.
And, he was on Britain's national diving squad.
Interesting.
How crazy is that?
I've got one for you.
Okay.
Ed O'Neill.
Married with children, Modern Family?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Good question.
He does not seem like someone who's athletically inclined.
Well, here's something interesting. He was born in Youngstown, Ohio. It was one of the deadliest cities in the world. We talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Right.
Let's see here. Pittsburgh Steelers. He was O'Neill was signed as an undrafted free agent by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1969 under rookie head coach Chuck Noll, but was cut in training camp, having to compete with fellow rookie defensive lineman Mean Joe Green.
I just cannot even in my head imagine Ed O'Neill in a football costume.
Well,
I'm sorry, uniform.
Well, only skateboard players have football costumes.
So dumb.
But I think that
football uniform
that makes all of Married with Children make way more sense. Because I think he played like a washed up football
washed
guy.
up, like, his glory days were high school, and now he's a shoe salesman. That
and then
actually
in Modern
really
Family,
does.
he like plays like a coach or something. I don't know.
Joel Mchale.
Joel Mchale is tall as AF.
Joel Mchale was a football player in college that actually has a Rose Bowl ring. He played for Washington State, and they won in 1992.
Wow.
Like the college equivalent of a Super Bowl ring. Crazy.
Do you know who Vinnie Jones is?
I don't feel like I do.
Okay, so it's either Snatch or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. He's the big, tall British guy that says, mine says Desert Eagle 5.0.
Yes.
Yours says, whatever, replica. Yeah. He was a midfielder for Wimbledon, Leeds United, Sheffield United, Chelsea, and Queen's Park Rangers from 84 to 99. 15 years. Wow, he played a long time.
He played for a long time.
He's a big fella.
He is a very big fella.
And I guess when you're that famous as a footballer, then you can go, I'd like to be in the movies now, mate.
A footballer.
Football.
What about Forrest Whitaker?
Forrest Whitaker?
Forrest Whitaker, before he won, a couple Academy Awards, he was on Cal State Polytechnic University's football team. He had a football scholarship.
Oh.
He played quarterback when he was in high school. And then he got injured in college, and that's what pushed him into acting. His debut role combined football and his new profession. He played the scary defensive lineman in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That was his first role.
Really?
How cool is that?
That's pretty awesome. Here's something that'll turn
That's awesome.
This one will turn your hat backwards. Tommy Lee Jones.
What did he do?
I don't know if he played professionally, but this is saying that in college he played football.
Interesting.
You can see that. I mean, everybody kind of played
Everybody played college football.
Yeah.
Dean Cain, Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
College football, early career.
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan
played football at Eureka College and also served as the Chicago Cubs announcer for a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we got to bring up Michael Jordan.
And Shaq.
Well, Shaq, it's definitely a bigger actor than Michael Jordan.
What's the Shaq Genie movie?
Shazam. I think. No. I'm going to Google that in a second. But of course, Michael did Toontown,
Space Jam.
Space Jam. Duh, they just redid it.
Yeah, Space Jam.
I kind of worked on the new one for a couple days. Wow, Tony Danza.
Was he a football player?
Probably.
Likely. I mean, it seems like that's all.
Yeah, everybody just played football. And the end. Hulk Hogan.
What?
Professional wrestler.
Well, yeah. We talked about that before this because we were like, do we consider professional wrestling athletic?
Yeah, because then Tony Hawk would count because he was just a skateboarder that's been in everything.
Right.
Ronda Rousey, MMA.
Dude, I loved her on Entourage.
Dude, she was great. I thought her and Turtle should have ended up together.
I kind of did too. Yeah. And you know what? I am actually looking forward to, because I've started listening to Victory, the podcast, which is
so bad.
I enjoy it.
It's not great.
I think it's pretty funny, like as they get into telling the tales behind the certain episodes, but I really hope that they have her on as a guest.
Oh, that would be fun.
Because they've done a lot of the guests and, the auxiliary people that actually played, in more than one episode.
Yeah.
Because that show was famous for its cameos.
Totally.
But they have people like Rhonda who, did 3 or 4 episodes come on as guests.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Johnny Ray who worked on Entourage.
Nice.
How about Dan Marino? Football quarterback, player, sports guy for the Dolphino Dolphins.
What did he do after that? What did he act in?
Ace Ventura.
Right.
He's been in a ton of, and now he does like underwear commercials and stuff.
Right. Do you consider that acting?
I consider anything that was in Ace Ventura part of cinema history.
Oh, that's true. I know you're a huge fan.
I mean, anytime somebody can bend over and spread their butt cheeks and say, "Can I ask you a few questions?" Come on.
Do you know Andreas, who you're familiar with, you've met? That's his absolute favorite scene in a movie of all time ever.
It's quality.
Sometimes he will just text me a clip of it and be like, "Remember this?" I'm like, why? Because he knows how much I also dislike those movies.
We should put it on the board.
Here's one for you, Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart was not a football player.
Really?
Jon Stewart played soccer.
Played soccer?
Yeah.
Where?
He played on the William and Mary men's soccer team. He came onto the team as a walk-on and eventually became a starter as a senior. Helped him make it into the NCAA tournament. He made an impression on his coach, who called him athletic, feisty, and quick. And he won a couple of awards.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Sorry, I had to pull that up.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's pretty cool.
I think we need to go back to something really quick. Because we were talking about Carl Weathers. And you were like, in the Adam Sandler movie, he has the fake arm.
Yeah.
How can we forget that he was the original Apollo Creed in Rocky?
We didn't forget. We just didn't go a deep dive on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just I looked up Carl Weathers and it pops up and I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, most people, that's how they're going to remember.
I got to work with Carl on a Fox show pilot that didn't go.
Was he nice?
Super nice.
I like that.
It was a military show. I think it had some Josh Duhamel type folks in it.
Okay.
And he was like the major.
Right.
And I should look up what it is.
I like that.
It was fun.
Here's one that's funny for you. So Matthew Fox, who was the main character on Lost.
Yep.
The doctor, Jack.
Is he related to Kirk Fox?
I don't think so. So he played football in college. And do you know who Dean Cain is?
Superman?
There you go.
Of course
Superman
I do.
of Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
They played against each other in a bunch of games.
That's funny.
Yeah. Because Cain played at Princeton and Matthew Fox played at Columbia. And they're huge rivals. And they would play against each other.
Well, that's a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think it would be funny to find out that all those teen show kids that all kind of grew up together. It'd be funny if they all ended up playing sports against each other in high school. I don't know what I'm driving at. I'm thinking of the era of 2001 to 2004. We're talking about Dawson's Creek and then all of the kids who weren't necessarily all the CW kids.
Right, but none of... You mean on the show that they played sports against each other? Or you mean in
real
high
life,
school?
Because they were all 30 playing 18-year-olds.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's why
I just actually read a really great list the other day of how old your favorite teen stars when they were playing teenagers.
Stay tuned tomorrow.
It was actually pretty great. Like on Dawson's Creek, Katie Holmes and Josh Jackson were the only two that were teenagers.
We should totally do an episode on that.
We really should, actually. Let me write that down.
Hold, please.
How old were your favorite teenagers?
Well, let us know what you think about the new mid-afternoon format, guys, and let us know when you're seeing it in your algorithm. Leave a comment on your preferred platform. Don't forget to join us on the weekends for extra bonus Patreon content, where you get an extra audio episode on Saturday and Sunday. And if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe. It really helps the show, and it's free. And all that being said, we'll see you tomorrow.